What's up, everyone, and welcome to another Into the Void Real Review. This time, we are reviewing Ghostbusters: The Frozen Empire. Ghostbusters, the franchise, has so much nostalgia backing it up, and a lot of what made the earlier movies so iconic as the first and even the second one was the chemistry that oozed, pardon the pun, from Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson. As a team, they made Ghostbusters what it was. Yes, there's Slimer, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and even that strange librarian ghost that we all remember, which, by the way, all make cameos in this one. Come on, that's not a spoiler. You knew they would be in the latest rendition of this ghost-busting adventure. Nonetheless, I'll warn you that I do go into some slight spoilers, so you may want to watch the movie before watching this. It's all well and good that those make a return, but let's all be real. The real reason you watch the Ghostbusters is for the comedic team of the actual Ghostbusters themselves. This new reboot's chance to shine has always lived or died depending on how good the new cast of Ghostbusters vibed. Afterlife I liked more than some, but it ultimately came up short for me. Too much setup, and the second one is doing much the same. It's like each person's still trying to find their identity within this new team. This time, they even add more characters to the mix, which doesn't help with us getting to know the new crew. Kumail Nanjiani makes his debut here as Nadeem, who is supposedly the secret weapon to the new baddie in this one. He is probably the funniest thing in this movie, not gonna lie. His ineptness at becoming that secret weapon is what largely drives the humor home. And the new baddie that I mentioned previously is one of the better villains this ragtag group of ghost catchers has faced, and is a much needed break from the usual one, Gozer. This one seemed very formidable and even a little scary. So, Frozen Empire has all this going for it. But there still is the problem of everyone trying to get acclimated to their particular role within the team. You got Finn Wolfhard's character Trevor trying to find his footing as an adult. Yeah. McKenna Grace as Phoebe trying to cope with having to take a back seat to all the action because of her supposed immaturity, even if she has probably the highest IQ of everyone in the group. The sudden exile makes her primed for getting tangled up in a ghostly relationship with a girl who seems more than just a friend. Paul Rudd is surprisingly understated in his role as Gary Gooperson.
We're the Ghostbusters. Can I tell you something else?
What?
Buster makes me feel good. It makes me feel good.
He's mainly trying to get the hang of being a father figure of the group, which involves him being the bad guy to Phoebe's fierce ambition, a role he's not used to as the everyman good guy. And then you have Carrie Coon, trying to hold the family together as Callie Spengler. This entry in the Ghostbusters franchise is centered around everyone trying to find the role within the group, and by movie's end, you can see that everyone is getting slotted in for the third installment of the reboot that will hopefully finally focus on a cohesive story and a plot with more pizzazz and the action and humor that will hopefully coalesce into a more enigmatic crew of young Ghostbusters who are truly poised to take the mantle from the old crew. As it is, I'm not sure it's there, and that is the disconnect that this franchise suffers from. Ghostbusters isn't the only franchise that is trying to harness nostalgia to bring back past glories. Many other movies has failed. Just look at Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones. Heck, even Star Wars nowadays is guilty. Here's hoping that the upcoming Beetlejuice sequel and even the new Alien movie, hopefully they can muster up something special inherent in their past efforts. I'm wishing. Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire is strongest in the third act of the film when New York finally freezes over. Actually, it's when the villain really gets to shine. And you get an idea of how formidable this being was at one time before being imprisoned. It's also when the real nostalgia hits and you almost get that feeling you once got back in 1984. One of the complaints I see about this movie is that there are too many side plots adding too much to the script, and therefore everything comes off as too messy. I didn't really feel this way. In fact, I kind of liked it when the movie explored the other side of what it must feel like to be a ghost. But I think that would be better explored in a different movie. Ghostbusters isn't known for exploring deep philosophical questions, and that kind of made that part of the movie out of place with the rest of the tone of the movie. It was mainly used as a plot device for the villain to try and take over the world. I'm not sure if it quite fit or it was believable in its execution. Why is it important for the ghost to inhabit or take control of a human body? Why does it need to do that in order to execute its plan of world dominance? Anybody? I don't think it hindered this movie that bad, however, and I'm not sure I agree of too many side plots being a problem in this movie. Maybe some plots were out of place and confusing, but I don't think that was a major detriment in any way. One thing a lot of reviewers are saying is that there are too many characters to keep track of with this new band of Ghostbusters, and everything can be a bit helter-skelter. That's true to some extent, but I think part of the problem is the dynamic is different now. Ghostbusters used to be a team of bros, so to speak, and sometimes events that happen in the films, such as Ray Stantz having a wet dream or something that amounts to that when a ghost visits him in his bed at night, and then Peter Venkman's always pining for Sigourney Weaver's character in a sometimes creepy fashion.
You want this body?
Is this a trick question?
Was far and away more different from the more family-orientated vibe you get from the now new Ghostbusters. So it's definitely more family-orientated, and it's a little different. And that's why this franchise has a different identity, and that's not bad, but it's definitely different. It's kind of grown up a little too much for its own good. Ghostbusters needs to get fun again, and I'm not sure what it will take to get there.
We came, we saw, we kicked it.
One thing for sure, the movie doesn't overstay its welcome, clocking in at just under 2 hours. I am giving Ghostbusters Frozen Empire a 7 out of 10. It's not terrible. It's still missing its charm and identity that it used to have back when it first came out onto the big screens. What do you think Ghostbusters needs to renew and become relevant again? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you want more of this, be sure to like and subscribe and get lost when we venture into the void.